Maya Chen pulled her thin jacket tighter around her shoulders as she walked through the hospital parking lot. The October wind cut through the fabric like ice, making her shiver. 3 weeks ago, she had a warm apartment to go home to after her 12-hour shifts at Children's Memorial Hospital. Now she had her old Honda Civic in whatever warmth she could find. The apartment building had flooded when the main water pipe burst. 20 families lost their homes in one night. Maya's savings account had exactly $432 left. Not enough for a security deposit anywhere decent, and definitely not enough to survive until her next paycheck if she paid rent somewhere else. She opened her car door and tossed her nursing bag into the back seat. The pile of blankets and pillows looked messy, but it was home now. At least the hospital parking lot had security guards, and she could use the staff bathroom to get ready for work each morning. Maya had grown up in foster care. She was used to making the best of bad situations. This was just another challenge to get through. She would figure something out. She always did. Her phone buzzed with a text from her friend Jenny. "You can crash on my couch tonight if you want," Maya typed back. "Thanks, but I'm okay. See you tomorrow." Jenny meant well, but her studio apartment was barely big enough for one person. Maya had already stayed there 2 nights this week. She didn't want to wear out her welcome. The hospital's main entrance doors slid open as Maya walked back inside. She had another shift starting in 10 minutes. Working double shifts helped her avoid spending too much time in her car, and the extra money would help her save up faster. The pediatric wing was quieter at night. Most of the day shift nurses had gone home, leaving just a skeleton crew to handle emergencies and check on the overnight patients. Maya loved working with kids. They were honest and brave in ways that amazed her every day. She was updating patient charts at the nurses' station when the elevator doors opened with a soft ding. A tall man in an expensive suit hurried out, carrying a small girl wrapped in a pink blanket. The child's face was flushed with fever and she was crying softly. "Excuse me," the man said, his voice tight with worry. "My daughter needs to see a doctor. She's burning up with fever." Maya stood up immediately. "Of course. Let me get you checked in. What's her name?" Lily Thompson. She's 5 years old." He shifted the little girl in his arms, and Maya could see how scared he was, trying not to show it. "I'm Maya, and I'll be taking care of Lily tonight. Dr. Rodriguez is on duty, and she's wonderful with children. Let's get Lily into a room where she'll be more comfortable." Maya led them to a quiet room decorated with cheerful cartoon animals on the walls. She helped the man settle his daughter onto the small bed and began taking Lily's vital signs. "What's your name, sweetheart?" Maya asked gently, placing a child-sized blood pressure cuff on Lily's arm. "Lily," the little girl whispered. "My tummy hurts. I bet it does. We're going to help you feel better, okay?" Maya's voice was warm and soothing. She had learned that kids responded better when adults didn't act panicked, even when the adults felt that way inside. The man introduced himself as David Thompson. While Maya worked, he paced nervously around the small room, checking his phone every few minutes. "Is this your first time bringing her to the emergency room?" Maya asked as she prepared to take Lily's temperature. "No, but I still hate it every time. Her mom used to handle all the medical stuff." David's voice caught slightly on the word mom. "I never know if I'm overreacting or not taking things seriously enough." Maya had heard this from dozens of single parents over the years. "You're doing great. Bringing her in when she has a high fever is exactly the right thing to do. Better safe than sorry with little ones." Dr. Rodriguez arrived and examined Lily thoroughly. After running a few tests, she determined that Lily had a stomach virus that was going around the local elementary schools. Nothing serious, but she needed fluids and rest. "We'll keep her here for a few hours to make sure she stays hydrated," Dr. Rodriguez explained to David. "She should be able to go home in the morning." Maya helped get Lily settled for the night. The little girl had stopped crying and was responding well to the IV fluids. Her fever was already starting to come down. "Thank you," David said quietly as Maya adjusted Lily's blankets. "You're really good with her. She's a sweet kid. You should try to get some rest too. There's a family lounge down the hall with comfortable chairs." "I'm not leaving her," David said firmly. Maya nodded with understanding. "I'll be checking on her every hour. If you need anything at all, just press the call button." Around 3 in the morning, Maya was finishing her rounds when she saw David still sitting in the chair next to Lily's bed. The little girl was sleeping peacefully, her breathing steady and calm. How are you holding up? Maya asked softly. David rubbed his eyes. I keep thinking about all the things I should have done differently. Maybe if I had picked her up from school earlier or noticed she wasn't feeling well sooner. Kids get sick. It's not your fault. Maya had said these words to hundreds of worried parents. You brought her here as soon as you realized she needed help. That's what good parents do. Sometimes I feel like I'm failing at this whole single dad thing, David admitted. Work keeps me busy and she's been through 3 babysitters in the last few months. She needs more stability than I can give her. Maya was about to respond when her phone buzzed. A text from Jenny. Security guard said someone's been sleeping in the parking lot. Be careful. Maya's heart sank. She had hoped no one would notice her car routine. She quickly put her phone away, but David had seen her expression change. Everything okay? He asked. Fine, just work stuff. Maya forced a smile. I should check on my other patients, but David was observant. He had built a successful tech company by paying attention to details that other people missed. As Maya left the room, he noticed her exhaustion, the way she had reacted to that text message, and how she seemed to be in no hurry to leave the hospital even though her shift had technically ended an hour ago. When Maya returned to check on Lily around 5 in the morning, David was still awake. Maya, can I ask you something personal? She hesitated. I guess. Are you okay? You seem like you might be dealing with something difficult. Maya had learned not to burden other people with her problems. I'm fine. Really. I saw you heading toward the parking lot earlier with a pillow. The words hung in the air between them. Maya felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. She had been so careful to keep her situation private. It's not what you think, she said quickly. I think you might be sleeping in your car. David said gently. And I think you're too proud to ask for help. Maya looked away. There was no point in lying now. My apartment building flooded 3 weeks ago. I'm just staying in my car temporarily until I can save enough for a new place. David was quiet for a long moment, watching his daughter sleep peacefully. You know, he said finally, I have a problem too. Lily needs someone she trusts to take care of her, and you're the first person she's connected with in months. Maya frowned, not sure where this was going. I have a guest house behind my main house. It's small but comfortable. Lily loves you and you need a place to stay. David looked directly at her. What if we helped each other out? Maya stared at David for a long moment, trying to process what he had just said. A guest house. A real place to live instead of her car. But taking care of his daughter felt like a huge responsibility. I don't know anything about being a nanny, she said quietly. I'm a nurse. I know how to take care of sick kids, but everyday parenting is different. You're already better with Lily than anyone else has been, David replied. She usually cries when strangers try to help her. With you, she actually smiled. Maya looked over at Lily, who was still sleeping peacefully. The little girl had grabbed onto Maya's hand earlier and hadn't wanted to let go. This would just be temporary, right? Until I can save up enough for my own apartment? Of course. Whatever works for both of us. David paused. Look, I know this sounds crazy. We barely know each other. But I'm desperate. And it seems like you are too. Maya had learned to trust her instincts about people during her years in foster care. David seemed genuine. More importantly, he seemed like a good father who was just overwhelmed. What exactly would you expect from me? She asked. Help with Lily after school and in the evenings. I try to be home by 6, but sometimes work runs late. Someone to be here if she gets sick or has nightmares. Basic stuff. And I could really stay in the guest house? It's not huge, but it has everything you need. Kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living area. It's been empty since my ex-wife's sister moved out last year. Maya thought about spending another night in her car versus having a real bed and a shower whenever she wanted. 1. Can I think about it for a day? Take all the time you need, David said. But the offer stands. 2 days later, Maya found herself following David's SUV through an upscale neighborhood about 20 minutes from the hospital. The houses were beautiful with large yards and mature trees. She felt out of place in her old Honda, but David had insisted this could work. His house was a modern 2-story with large windows and a perfectly manicured lawn. The guest house sat behind it, connected by a stone walkway. It looked like something from a home design magazine. This is where I would live? Maya asked as David unlocked the guest house door. If you want to, he said, stepping aside to let her see inside. The space was small but charming. Hardwood floors, a cozy living room with a fireplace, a compact but fully equipped kitchen, and a bedroom with a queen-sized bed. Through the bedroom window, she could see Lily playing on a swing set in the backyard. "It's beautiful," Maya said honestly. "Are you sure about this?" "I'm sure." Lily hasn't stopped talking about the nice nurse who made her feel better. "She asked me this morning if you were coming to visit." They spent an hour going over the details. Maya would help with Lily from after school until bedtime on weekdays, and David would handle weekends unless he had work emergencies. She would pay a small amount toward utilities but no rent. In exchange, she would be available to help with Lily when needed. "I have one important rule," Maya said as they finished talking. "This has to stay professional. I'm not looking for anything complicated right now." "Absolutely," David agreed quickly. "I'm not either. This is just two people helping each other out." Maya moved in the next weekend. It didn't take long since most of her belongings had been lost in the apartment flood. David helped her carry her few boxes from the car, and Lily followed them around, chattering excitedly about having Maya nearby. "Can Maya eat dinner with us?" Lily asked her father. "If she wants to," David said, looking at Maya. "Maybe tonight," Maya said. "But remember, I live in the guest house. I have my own kitchen." "But eating together is more fun," Lily protested. Maya could see this was going to be more complicated than she had expected. Lily was obviously hungry for female attention, and David seemed relieved to have help. But Maya needed to maintain some boundaries if this was going to work. The first week went smoothly. Maya would get home from her hospital shifts around 4 in the afternoon, just as Lily's school bus arrived. They would have a snack together, work on homework, and play in the backyard until David came home. Lily was a sweet, smart little girl who loved to talk. She told Maya about her friends at school, her favorite books, and her pet goldfish named Bubbles. She also talked about her mother, who had moved to California the previous year. Mommy said she needed space to find herself, Lily explained one afternoon while they colored pictures at the kitchen table. "Daddy says she still loves me, but she needed to be somewhere else." Maya's heart ached for the little girl. She knew what it felt like to be left behind by people who were supposed to take care of you. "That must have been really hard," Maya said gently. "I miss her sometimes, but Daddy tries really hard to take care of me by himself. He does a good job." "You're a lucky little girl. Are you going to leave too?" Lily asked suddenly. The question caught Maya off guard.
"I'm just here to help for a while, sweetheart."
"But I'm not going anywhere right now." "Good. I like having you here." That evening, Maya mentioned the conversation to David when he came home from work. "She's been asking everyone if they're going to leave," he said with a sigh. "The babysitters, my mother, even the mailman. I think her mom leaving really affected her more than I realized." "It's normal for kids to worry about that after a parent leaves," Maya said. "She just needs time to feel secure again." "I hope you're right. I keep wondering if I should have fought harder to make my marriage work for Lily's sake." "You can't control other people's choices," Maya said. "You can only control how you respond to them." David looked at her thoughtfully. "You sound like you speak from experience." "I grew up in foster care. I learned early that the only person you can really count on is yourself." "I'm sorry. That must have been difficult." "It was what it was. It made me stronger." Their conversation was interrupted by David's phone ringing. He glanced at the screen and frowned. "It's my mother. I should take this." Maya could hear parts of the conversation from the kitchen where she was helping Lily with her math homework. David's mother seemed upset about something, and her voice was getting louder. "No, Mother, she's not living with us. She has her own place. Yes, she's qualified to watch Lily. It's a temporary arrangement." Lily looked up from her math problems. "Grandma Helen doesn't like it when Daddy makes decisions without asking her first." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Does your daddy usually ask his mother before making decisions?" "He used to, but then they would fight about everything. Now he just tells her after." When David finished the phone call, he looked stressed. "Everything okay?" Maya asked. "My mother wants to meet you." "She's protective of Lily. That's understandable. She's coming for dinner tomorrow night. I should warn you, she can be a little intense." Maya had dealt with difficult people her entire life. How hard could one protective grandmother be? The next evening, she was about to find out. Helen Thompson arrived at exactly 6 o'clock in a black sedan that probably cost more than Maya made in a year. She was a tall, elegant woman in her 60s with perfectly styled gray hair and sharp blue eyes that missed nothing. "You must be the nurse," she said when Maya opened the door. "Maya Chen." It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Thompson. Helen walked past her without shaking hands, scanning the living room like she was looking for evidence of something inappropriate. Grandma Helen! Lily ran to hug her grandmother, who smiled warmly for the first time since arriving. Hello, darling. How are you feeling about having a stranger living in your backyard? Maya felt her stomach tighten. This was going to be a long evening. Dinner with Helen Thompson was exactly as uncomfortable as Maya had expected. The older woman asked pointed questions about Maya's background, her qualifications, and her intentions regarding David and Lily. So you have no children of your own? Helen asked while cutting her chicken with precise movements. No, ma'am, Maya replied politely. And no family to speak of? I grew up in foster care. Helen's eyebrows raised slightly. I see. And what makes you think you're qualified to care for my granddaughter? Mother, David warned quietly. It's okay, Maya said. Mrs. Thompson, I'm a pediatric nurse. I've worked with children for 6 years. But more importantly, Lily and I get along well together. Getting along and proper child rearing are two different things, Helen said coolly. Lily needs stability and structure, not some temporary arrangement with a stranger. Lily, who had been quietly eating her vegetables, suddenly spoke up. Maya's not a stranger. She's my friend. She helps me with homework and reads me stories. Darling, adults have adult responsibilities, Helen said to Lily in a gentler tone. This young woman has her own life to live. She won't be staying here forever. Maya saw Lily's face fall and her heart ached for the little girl. You're right that I won't be here forever, Maya said carefully. But I'll be here as long as your daddy and I both think it's working well for everyone. After dinner, Helen asked to speak with David privately in his study. Maya offered to help Lily get ready for bed, but she could hear raised voices coming from the other room. I don't like this arrangement one bit. Helen's voice carried clearly. That girl could disappear tomorrow, and then what? Lily gets attached and loses another woman in her life? Maya's not going anywhere right now, David replied firmly. You said the same thing about Rebecca. That's completely different, and you know it. Maya tried to focus on helping Lily brush her teeth, but the argument was getting louder. Daddy sounds upset, Lily said, her eyes wide with worry. Sometimes adults disagree about things, Maya said gently. It doesn't mean anyone's in trouble. Is Grandma Helen mad at you? She's just worried about you because she loves you very much. After Lily was tucked into bed, Maya retreated to her guest house. She could see Helen's car still in the driveway and decided it was better to give them space to talk. Around 10 o'clock, there was a soft knock on her door. David stood on her doorstep looking exhausted. I wanted to apologize for my mother, he said. She can be difficult. She's protecting her granddaughter. I understand that. Can I come in for a minute? Maya hesitated, then stepped aside to let him in. David sat heavily on her small couch and rubbed his face with both hands. She thinks I'm making a mistake, he said. She thinks Lily will get too attached to you and be hurt when you leave. Will she be hurt? Maya asked, sitting in the chair across from him. Probably, but she's already attached to you. And honestly, she's happier than she's been in months. What do you want me to do? Nothing. Keep being yourself. Keep helping Lily feel safe and loved. I'll handle my mother. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Maya noticed how tired David looked, how much responsibility he carried on his shoulders. Can I ask you something? She said. When was the last time you did something just for fun? David laughed, but it sounded hollow. Fun? I barely have time to sleep. That's not healthy. Lily needs to see that life can be enjoyable, not just one responsibility after another. What are you suggesting? I don't know. Maybe we could plan something fun for this weekend. The three of us. David looked at her curiously. Like what? There's a fall festival downtown. Pumpkin picking, hay rides, face painting, kid stuff. That sounds nice, David said slowly. But wouldn't that blur the lines of our professional arrangement? Maya felt a flutter of something she didn't want to name. It would just be for Lily's sake. Right, for Lily. The next few days passed peacefully. Maya picked Lily up from school, helped with homework, and they spent time in the backyard playing games. David came home earlier than usual twice, joining them for dinner and seeming more relaxed. Saturday morning arrived crisp and clear, perfect for the fall festival. Lily was so excited she could barely sit still during breakfast. Can we get caramel apples? She asked for the third time. If you eat a real lunch first, David said, smiling at his daughter's enthusiasm. The festival was crowded with families enjoying the beautiful autumn day. Lily dragged them from booth to booth, wanting to try everything. Maya found herself laughing more than she had in months as they played ring toss and watched Lily's face get painted with a butterfly design. "She looks happy," David said quietly as they watched Lily ride a pony. "So do you," Maya replied. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the professional boundaries they had carefully maintained seemed to shimmer and fade. Then Lily called out to them, and the moment passed. At the pumpkin patch, Lily insisted on finding the perfect pumpkin for carving. It took 20 minutes of serious searching before she found one that met her standards. "This one," she announced, pointing to a medium-sized pumpkin with an interesting stem. "That's a good choice," Maya said, helping her lift it. "We can carve it together," Lily said. All three of us. David and Maya exchanged a look. This felt less like a professional arrangement and more like something else. Something that scared Maya because it felt too good to be real. That evening, while they carved the pumpkin at David's kitchen table, Lily chattered happily about their day. "That was the best day ever," she declared. "We felt like a real family." The words hung in the air. Maya's hand stilled on the pumpkin carving knife. "Lily," David said gently, "Maya is our friend who helps take care of you, but she has her own life and her own plans." "I know," Lily said quietly, but it felt nice. Later, after Lily had gone to bed, Maya and David sat on his back porch cleaning up the pumpkin carving mess. "I'm sorry about what she said," David said. "About feeling like a family. It's okay. She's just a kid trying to make sense of her world." "The thing is," David said slowly, "it did feel nice." "Too nice," Maya looked at him, her heart racing. "David, I know. We agreed to keep this professional." "We did. But lately I find myself looking forward to coming home in a way I haven't in a long time." "That's just because you're less stressed about Lily." "Is it?" David turned to face her fully. "Because I think it might be more than that." Before Maya could respond, they heard crying from inside the house. Lily was having a nightmare. They both rushed upstairs, and Maya automatically went to Lily's bedside while David hung back by the door. "Hey, sweetheart," Maya said softly, sitting on the edge of the bed. "You're okay. It was just a bad dream." "I dreamed you went away," Lily sobbed. "Like Mommy did." "I'm right here," Maya said, smoothing Lily's hair. "I'm not going anywhere tonight. Promise?" Maya's throat tightened. She couldn't promise she'd never leave. But she could promise this. "I promise I'm not going anywhere tonight." Lily finally fell back asleep and Maya quietly left the room. David was waiting in the hallway. "Thank you," he whispered. "She's scared of being abandoned again." "Aren't we all?" David said softly. They walked downstairs together, the weight of unspoken feelings heavy between them. "Maya," David said when they reached the front door, "what's happening between us?" "Nothing's happening," Maya said quickly. "We're just two people helping each other out." "Right," David said, but his eyes said something different. As Maya walked back to the guest house, she knew they were both lying. Something was definitely happening. The question was whether they were brave enough to admit it. Inside her small living room, Maya sat on the couch and stared at the family photo on David's mantelpiece that she could see through his kitchen window. Lily's mother was beautiful and polished, everything Maya wasn't. She had learned long ago not to get attached to temporary situations. But sitting here now, she realized it might already be too late. 3 weeks after the fall festival, Maya's carefully ordered world began to crumble. It started with a phone call that David received while they were eating breakfast together. Lily was telling them about her upcoming school play when David's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and his face went pale. "I need to take this," he said, stepping outside onto the patio. Maya could see him through the glass door, his body language tense as he paced back and forth. Whatever the conversation was about, it wasn't good news. "Is Daddy okay?" Lily asked, looking worried. "I'm sure everything's fine," Maya said, though she felt a knot forming in her stomach. When David came back inside, he looked shaken. "Lily, can you go brush your teeth for school? The bus will be here soon." "But I'm not done with my cereal," Lily protested. "You can finish it later. Go get ready, please." After Lily left the room, David sat down heavily at the kitchen table. "What's wrong?" Maya asked. "That was Rebecca, Lily's mother." David ran his hands through his hair. "She's coming back to town. She wants to see Lily." Maya felt her chest tighten. "When? This weekend?" She's flying in Friday night. That's good, right? Lily misses her mother. David looked at Maya with an expression she couldn't read. Rebecca doesn't just want to visit. She wants to discuss custody arrangements. The words hit Maya like a physical blow. She had known this arrangement was temporary, but she hadn't expected it to end so suddenly. What does that mean for Lily? Maya asked. I don't know yet. Rebecca remarried last month. Some wealthy guy in California. She says she can provide Lily with a stable traditional family now. Maya's heart sank. She thought about Lily's excited chatter about the school play, her carefully arranged stuffed animals, her drawings stuck to David's refrigerator. This was Lily's home. What do you want to do? Maya asked. Fight for my daughter, David said firmly. But Rebecca's lawyer called too. They're going to argue that my current living situation isn't appropriate for a child. Maya understood immediately. They mean me. A single man living with an unrelated woman sends the wrong message, apparently. I don't live with you. I live in the guest house. Try explaining that to a family court judge. Friday evening came too quickly. Maya watched from her guest house window as a sleek rental car pulled into the driveway. A woman stepped out and Maya's breath caught. Rebecca was everything Maya wasn't. Tall, blonde, perfectly dressed, and radiating confidence. Lily ran outside to meet her mother, and Maya's heart broke a little watching the reunion. No matter what Rebecca had done, she was still Lily's mom. Maya stayed in the guest house that night, giving the family space to reconnect. But around 9 o'clock, she heard shouting coming from the main house. Then she heard Lily crying. Unable to stay away when Lily was upset, Maya knocked on the back door. David answered, looking frustrated and exhausted. Is Lily okay? Maya asked. She's fine. Rebecca and I were just discussing things. I heard her crying. She got scared when we raised our voices. She's in her room now. Can I say goodnight to her? David hesitated. Rebecca thinks it would be better if you kept your distance while she's here. The words stung, but Maya nodded. I understand, but Lily had other ideas. An hour later, there was a soft knock on Maya's door. Lily stood outside in her pajamas, tears streaming down her face. Lily, what are you doing out here? Maya pulled the little girl inside. Mommy says I have to come live with her in California, Lily sobbed. She says Daddy can visit sometimes, but I have to live with her and her new husband. Maya's heart shattered. She pulled Lily into a hug, feeling the little girl's whole body shaking with tears. What do you want to do? Maya asked gently. I want to stay here with Daddy. And with you. Lily looked up at Maya with red, puffy eyes. Mommy's nice, but this is my home. My school is here, and my friends, and Bubbles my goldfish. Have you told your parents how you feel? I tried, but they just keep arguing. Mommy says California is better for me, and Daddy says this is better. Nobody asked me what I think. Maya was still comforting Lily when David appeared at her door looking panicked. Lily, what are you doing here? He stepped inside and saw his daughter's tear-stained face. Oh, sweetheart. I don't want to move to California, Daddy, Lily said. David picked up his daughter and held her close. We'll figure this out, okay? I promise. The next morning, Maya woke up to find Helen Thompson's car in the driveway alongside Rebecca's rental. This couldn't be good. Around noon, David knocked on her door. His face was grim. We need to talk, he said. Maya invited him in, but he stayed standing near the door. Rebecca's lawyer is coming Monday to assess the living situation here. My mother thinks... David paused, struggling with the words. She thinks it would be better if you weren't here when he arrives. You want me to leave? Not permanently. Just for a few days until this custody thing gets sorted out. Maya felt like she'd been punched in the stomach. And after that? I don't know. Rebecca's threatening to drag this through the courts. She says having an unmarried woman living on the property makes me look irresponsible. So I'm the problem. No, David said quickly. You're not the problem, but you might be a complication. Maya looked around her small living room at the few belongings she'd managed to make feel like home. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe that friend of yours, Jenny? Just until I can figure out how to handle that. Yes, and what about Lily? She's already scared and confused. I'll explain it to her. How? By telling her that another woman in her life is leaving? David flinched. That's not fair, isn't it? Maya felt anger rising in her chest. 3 months ago, you asked me to help because Lily needed stability. Now you're asking me to disappear because it's inconvenient. I'm trying to protect my daughter. By pushing away someone who loves her? The words hung in the air between them. Maya hadn't meant to say love, but it was too late to take it back. Maya, David started. It's fine, Maya said, turning away from him. I'll pack my things. This isn't what I want. But it's what you're choosing. That afternoon, Maya packed her few belongings while Lily sat on the bed crying. Why are you leaving? Lily asked. Did I do something wrong? No, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong. Maya knelt down so she was at Lily's eye level. Sometimes adults have to make difficult decisions. But I need you here. Your daddy will take care of you, and your mommy loves you very much. It's not the same. Lily threw her arms around Maya's neck. Please don't go. Maya held the little girl tight, memorizing the feeling of her small arms around her neck, the smell of her strawberry shampoo. I have to go for now, Maya whispered, but that doesn't mean I don't care about you. Will you come back? Maya couldn't promise that. She had no idea what would happen next. I'll always remember our time together, she said instead. David helped carry her boxes to the car, but they barely spoke. Rebecca watched from the kitchen window, and Maya could feel her satisfaction from across the yard. As Maya drove away, she saw Lily's face pressed against her bedroom window. The little girl was crying and waving goodbye. Maya made it 3 blocks before she had to pull over. She sat in her car and cried harder than she had since she was a child in foster care, learning over and over again that nothing good lasted forever. She had been stupid to think this time would be different. Maya drove to Jenny's apartment, knowing her friend would let her stay for a few days. But as she climbed the stairs with her boxes, she realized she wasn't just leaving a temporary job. She was leaving the closest thing to a real family she had ever known. Maya spent 3 miserable days on Jenny's couch, barely eating and checking her phone constantly. She kept hoping David would call to say the lawyer visit was over and she could come back, but her phone stayed silent. Jenny tried to cheer her up with ice cream and movies, but nothing worked. Maya had lost more than just a place to live. She had lost the first real family she'd ever known. You should call him, Jenny said on Wednesday morning. Maybe the lawyer stuff is done. He asked me to leave, Maya said, staring at her untouched coffee. If he wanted me back, he would have called by now. What if something's wrong? What if Lily needs you? Maya's heart clenched. She had been trying not to think about Lily, but the little girl was never far from her thoughts. It's not my place anymore. That afternoon, while Maya was at the hospital working her shift, her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. Maya. The voice was small and shaky. It's me, Lily. Maya's heart stopped. Lily? Sweetheart, where are you? How did you get this number? I'm hiding in Daddy's office at work. I memorized your phone number from when you wrote it on my homework folder. Lily's voice was thick with tears. I need you to come back. Oh, honey, I can't just come back. Your daddy and I talked about this, but everything's wrong without you here, Lily sobbed. Mommy wants me to come to California, and Daddy's sad all the time, and Grandma Helen keeps saying mean things about you. Maya felt her chest tighten. What kind of mean things? She told Daddy that you're not good enough for our family because you don't have money or fancy clothes. And she said you would just leave anyway because that's what people like you do. Anger flared in Maya's chest. People like me? People without real families, Lily said quietly. But Maya, you are my real family. You make me feel safe, and you help me with my bad dreams, and you laugh at my jokes even when they're not funny. Maya was crying now, trying to keep her voice steady. Lily, where's your daddy right now? He's in a meeting with the lawyer and Mommy. They've been talking for hours. Lily's voice dropped to a whisper. Maya, I heard Mommy tell the lawyer that Daddy chose you over me. She said it proves he's not thinking clearly. That's not true, sweetheart. Your daddy loves you more than anything in the world. Then why did he let you leave? Maya didn't have a good answer for that. Sometimes adults make mistakes when they're scared. Are you scared too? Yeah, Maya admitted. I'm really scared. Will you come get me? I don't want to live in California. I want to live with you and Daddy. Maya's heart was breaking. Lily, I can't just take you. That would get your daddy in big trouble. But listen to me, okay? You need to go back to that meeting and tell your daddy and Mommy exactly how you feel. Tell them you want to stay here. Use your big girl voice and don't let anyone interrupt you. What if they don't listen? Keep talking until they do. You're the most important person in this whole situation and you deserve to be heard. After Lily hung up, Maya sat in the hospital break room staring at her phone. She thought about Helen's cruel words, about Rebecca's accusations, about David's choice to send her away. But mostly she thought about a scared little girl who just wanted to feel safe and loved. 20 minutes later, Maya was driving toward David's office building. She didn't have a plan, but she couldn't sit on the sidelines anymore. The receptionist tried to stop her, but Maya was a woman on a mission. She found David's office and could hear raised voices through the door. She knocked firmly and walked in without waiting for permission. David, Rebecca, Helen, and a man in an expensive suit all turned to stare at her. Lily was sitting in a chair by the window, tears streaming down her face. "Maya!" Lily jumped up and ran to her. "What are you doing here?" David asked, looking shocked. "Lily called me. She's scared and confused, and she needed someone to listen to her." "This is highly inappropriate," the lawyer said. "Miss Chen, you should not be here." "You're right," Maya said, picking up Lily and holding her close. "A 5-year-old shouldn't have to call someone for help because the adults in her life are too busy fighting to listen to what she needs." Rebecca stood up, her face flushed with anger. "How dare you interfere in family business? You're nothing but the help." "Rebecca," David warned. "No, let her speak," Maya said calmly. "Let's all be honest about what's really happening here." She turned to face Rebecca directly, still holding Lily. "You left your daughter for over a year to find yourself. Now you want to take her away from the only stable home she's known because it's convenient for your new life." "I'm her mother," Rebecca said coldly. "Being a mother is more than biology," Maya replied. "It's showing up every day. It's reading bedtime stories and helping with homework and holding her when she has nightmares. You have no right to lecture me about parenting." "You're right. I don't have any legal rights here at all." Maya looked around the room. "But I love this little girl like she's my own daughter, and she loves me back. That should count for something." Helen spoke up from her corner. "Love isn't enough to raise a child properly. Lily needs structure, education, financial security. Lily needs to feel safe and wanted," Maya said firmly. "She needs adults who put her feelings first instead of their own pride." The lawyer cleared his throat. "Miss Chen, while your passion is evident, this is a legal matter between the child's parents." "Then maybe someone should ask the child what she wants," Maya said. She set Lily down and knelt beside her. "Lily, these adults need to hear from you. Can you tell them what you told me on the phone?" Lily looked around the room at all the watching faces. Maya could see her gathering her courage. "I want to stay here with Daddy," Lily said in a small but clear voice. "California is far away from my school and my friends and my goldfish. Mommy, I love you, but this is my home." Rebecca's face softened slightly. "Darling, California has better schools and you'd have a big yard to play in. I like my school here, and Maya helps me with my homework." Lily looked at her father. "Daddy, why did you make Maya leave? Did I do something wrong?" David's face crumpled. He knelt down next to Maya and took his daughter's hands. "No, baby, you didn't do anything wrong. I made a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" "I thought sending Maya away would help me keep you. But I was wrong. I was so scared of losing you that I lost someone else we both love." David looked up at Maya, his eyes bright with unshed tears. "I'm sorry. I should have fought for both of you. So Maya can come home?" Lily asked hopefully. "If she'll forgive me for being an idiot," David said, standing up to face Maya. Maya looked around the room. Rebecca was watching them with an unreadable expression. Helen looked disapproving but resigned. The lawyer was taking notes. "David," Maya said quietly, "I can't keep being something temporary in your life. It's not fair to any of us." "You're not temporary," David said firmly. "I love you, Maya. I should have said it weeks ago. I should have told my mother and Rebecca and anyone else who would listen that you're not just Lily's caregiver. You're the woman I want to build a life with. Daddy loves Maya," Lily announced to the room. "And Maya loves us too." Rebecca was quiet for a long moment. Then she sighed. "Lily, is this really what you want? To stay here, boss? With your father and Maya?" "Yes, Mommy. I want to visit you sometimes, but I want to live here." Rebecca looked at David. "If I agree to leave things as they are, I want regular visits. And I want to be involved in decisions about her education and health." "Of course," David said quickly. "And I want to meet with this Maya properly. If she's going to be in my daughter's life, I need to know she's worthy of that responsibility." Maya stepped forward. "I'd welcome that conversation." 6 months later, Maya stood in the same backyard where she had first played with Lily, but everything had changed. White chairs were arranged in neat rows and flowers decorated every surface. Lily ran up to her, resplendent in a yellow flower girl dress. "Maya, you look so pretty." Maya smoothed her simple white wedding dress. "Thank you, sweetheart. Are you ready to walk down the aisle?" "I've been ready forever," Lily said, grinning. "I still can't believe you're going to be my real mom now." David appeared beside them in his dark suit, handsome and nervous. "Ready to make this official?" he asked Maya. "I've never been more ready for anything in my life," Maya replied. As they walked toward their small gathering of friends and family, Maya caught sight of Helen sitting in the front row. The older woman had slowly warmed to Maya over the past months, especially after seeing how happy Lily was. Even Rebecca was there, sitting with her new husband. She had kept her word about staying involved in Lily's life, and to Maya's surprise, they had developed a respectful relationship. When the minister asked if anyone objected to the marriage, Lily stood up from her spot in the front row. "I object," she said loudly. The crowd gasped and Maya's heart stopped. "I object to waiting any longer." Lily continued with a huge grin. "I want Maya to be my mom right now." Everyone laughed and Maya felt tears of joy streaming down her face. As David slipped the ring onto her finger, Maya thought about how far they had all come. A year ago, she had been sleeping in her car with no family and no hope. Now she was surrounded by people who loved her, marrying the man of her dreams and about to officially become mother to the little girl who had changed her life. "I love you," David whispered as they kissed. "I love you too," Maya whispered back. "Both of you forever." Lily rushed up to hug them both. "Now we're a real family," she announced. Maya held her new husband and daughter close, finally understanding what home really meant. It wasn't a place or a building. It was this feeling of belonging, of being chosen and choosing in return. She had found her family at last,